With the Maharashtra political crisis now coming to end, it's time to focus on the economy, and that's exactly what happened in Parliament today. The Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman mounted a spirited defense on the state of the economy, saying that though growth may have slowed down, India is definitely not in a recession. She was replying to opposition leaders who attacked the Modi government's record on the economic slowdown. Maithili, what did you make of Nirmala Sitharaman's spirited defense today?
Well, it was a very spirited defense, and the fact is that she is right when she says that the BJP inherited an economy in a pretty bad shape from the Congress. But the fact is also true that the government was in denial for much after the slowdown became very evident. And even though the government did take a number of steps, I think they faltered on two major grounds. Recapitalization of banks took place much too late and much too little. It was in dips and drabs. Demonetization was a policy which the government clearly pursued for political ends, and though there might be some return in terms of long-term reward in terms of formalization of the economy, the fact is that we paid a very big economic cost, and it's not very clear that the economic cost was worth the price that we actually paid. The rewards were worth the price that we paid. So government clearly has something to answer for as well, and I think here the government, this adherence to the fiscal deficit target, that 3%, 3.3% they seem so hung up on, that I think is one of the biggest failings of the government, because at a time when private investment is not picking up, the ball was clearly in the government's court. Yes, it has undertaken a number of reforms, but these have not yet paid fruit. So I think the government needs to take the bull by the horns, forget its fixation with a fiscal deficit number of 3.3% and start spending on those sectors where you will get more bang for the buck, particularly construction, railways, roadways. These are the kind of areas where there would be immediate impact rather than giving tax giveaways to the corporate sector, which are really not going to benefit the economy, at least in the short run. So I think the government also must answer for the fact that it took these measures, remedial measures, much too late and much too little. So yes, there is something to be said for the government having inherited an economy in poor shape, but the government also did not rise up to the challenge sufficiently early.
Go across to Gopal Agarwal. Gopal Agarwal, the finance minister's response was obviously, of course, a political one as well, because she was responding to charges raised by opposition MPs on the floor of the House, and which is why perhaps she kept referring to, look at what you did in your term. But beyond the political rhetoric, all of us are interested in knowing what is being done and is enough being done. Is there a sense of denial, or is there a lack of understanding of the extent of trouble we're in? We're, a couple of days away from GDP figures which could be as low as 4%.
Tamanna, nobody is denying that there is a slowness in the growth in the economy. It was above 7% and now it is around 5.6 or 6%, around that ratio, and it has come down. That's, the government is not denying that. But when you call this slow reduction in growth rate as recession, that is what we are objecting to. Recession means a negative growth and everybody accepts. Now, and at any point of time in the economy, there are challenges everywhere across the globe. Even if American economy is doing good, there are several challenges. China has challenges. Similarly, India has certain challenges. There are sectors which are facing problems. The government is well averse with it, and the important thing is that when we are talking about reforms that we took is on the supply side of credit.
Right.
Credit was a big problem, banking, financial institutions,
no, it
corruption,
is still a big
problem,
Gopalji. It is still a big problem.
The tax collection.
It is still
but
a big
there
problem,
are,
and recession is a term. Recession
yes,
is a term. We're not in recession, and thank God, and
and
hopefully we never will be. But that's not the only question, is it? Whether we're in a recession or not, we want to get out of the slowdown.
Yeah, but no. Yes, what is the government ready to act? I am telling you, finance minister herself has said that at more than 30 times different changes even after budget have taken place. So, we are working on an economic ecosystem where it is transparent, corruption free, level playing field, giving equal opportunity earlier. When we are talking about heritage or inheritance problem, that is because we never said ki growth in last 65 years there was no growth, but the growth happened with concentration of wealth. There was a limited number of people who were benefiting. Now we have set up a target of $5 trillion economy.